What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Depeche Mode, and we're back with another request. Someone had recently, in the last few days, requested a song that I had been thinking about doing anyway, and so I sort of moved it up the list. We're talking about And Then. It's a tune from Construction Time Again, their third studio album from 1983. This album is fantastic. I mean, I say that about every Depeche Mode album, but I really do love a lot of their early stuff, and this is another fantastic example. I mean, we got Everything Counts. I just recently did 2 Minute Warning. Oh, and that's right, it has the long version of Everything Counts on this one, too. But Love in Itself, another fantastic tune. But yeah, we're going to listen to And Then, a tune I don't remember as much musically. It'll be interesting to listen to this because I'm not hearing the sonics so much, but I do remember the lyrics. And it's interesting, I've done a couple songs by different bands in the last day or so that all sort of get at this concept. I just did another tune actually by Depeche Mode, which is about, it's called Perfect, and it's about, maybe there's some different places where things are way better or maybe way worse, or just, different iterations of the configurations that we find ourselves in this particular skein of reality, this particular planet, this particular dimension. And this song sort of gets at that too, although it's more temporal and it's more focused on this particular Earth and this particular world and timeline, if you will. And it's basically saying what if we could completely reconfigure society? What if we could pull it down from the top down, or maybe from the bottom up? And you can, there's maybe some socioeconomic ways you could interpret that, or just the idea of getting rid of the major institutions and so on, top down or bottom up, reconfiguring the way that our communities and societies and our cultural institutions are configured and the way we interact with each other, and perhaps those changes would filter up to the larger institutions and so on. So it imagines it from a couple different ways, but it's saying, what if we could change it all? What if we could completely reconfigure society and make something way better? It's taking a risk, and there's a line about if we do that, I have faith that it's going to be better. You know what? Maybe it's not so much faith. Maybe I just prefer to think that if we really went for that, if we really went all in, head first into a massive societal and an entire civilizational reconstruction, that it would turn out better. But again, I think there's a sort of a worry, a slight pessimism, underlying that, because it's this idea that I have faith that it will all turn out better. Well, I prefer to think that it's going to all turn out better. But again, as in the song Perfect, I think there's a suggestion that, it could actually be worse. There's also a layer where I think it's speaking kind of about the youth, because it's saying what if all the boys and girls, what if we could all shape society with our hands and so on. So I think it's suggesting that there's a younger generation, which is almost always the case. It's older generations, whether even if they still think about society, that it can be improved or changed or so on, they might get ossified and they might sort of grow comfortable, or at least feel like they can't get out of the rhythms and the trappings of the society that they like to change, and so ultimately they begin to be less energetic in terms of trying to create that change that they'd like to see. So again, there's a reference to boys and girls, so perhaps it's suggesting that, hey, it's going to have to be this younger generation to do this, but if they do it, I'd like to think that it's going to be better, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. So that's where I've took the lyrics. Let me know if you have a different interpretation, or if you've read something from one of the guys that they was actually coming from a different place, or maybe a particular source, inspiration that relates to an anecdote or some episode in history or something. I'm not sure, but ultimately, like I said, I do think it's about this idea of and in fact, I think the word we need a revolution, a collective revolution, which is interesting because obviously the album Spirit, 2017, they did that lovely, wonderful song Where's the Revolution. I did already react to that. Check that out if you're interested. But I feel like they maybe kind of touch on that theme a little bit, which they then would explore much more fully in that later song. So like I said, I think it's about a younger generation perhaps reconfiguring society entirely and hoping, preferring to believe that it will turn out for the better. So, like I said, I don't really remember the sonics. We're about to find out kind of what those are about. I'm sure once it starts, I'll have a better sort of feel for that. But here we go. This is And Then on the album Construction Time Again, which is 1983 by Depeche Mode. Oh, right. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. It's another one that has that kind of like industrial, like people hitting pipes and like stomping and like, you know, sort of making natural percussive rhythms. Ugh. Boom, boom, boom. I love the way that bass kind of hangs for a second. Boom, 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 boom.
Let's take a map of the world, tear it into pieces. All of the boys and the girls will see how easy it is to put it all down and start again.
That's sort of like,
From the top to the bottom and then.
I don't know if it's like a strummed guitar, but that is fantastic. It's like this golden ray of sunshine on the tune.
Things couldn't turn out worse.
Wicked.
All we need at the start, universal revolution.
That's all we need, a universal revolution. What? That's not so hard.
And if we trust in our hearts, we'll find the solutions.
You gotta believe it.
To put it all down
Or do you?
again, from the top to the bottom and then. All have faith, or I prefer to think that things couldn't turn out worse.
That's right. I prefer to think they couldn't turn out worse, you know. I'm not saying it's gonna be perfect, but like,
Playing across the world, dancing a car. When I reached my destination, I had enough.
maybe it's another hint, right? You might try to find this future place, you might try to change things, and then when you get out of the car door of that journey, like, shit, it looks a lot like where I already was, where we already were stuck.
The mountains and the sand, and all the boys and the girls, shaking their hands.
Again, like, molding society as they see fit. God damn.
From the top to the bottom and then. All I faith, or I
The textured sounds, the layers,
things couldn't turn.
you can hear them in isolation, you can let them blend.
Put it all down and start again.
That's better than I remembered it. Holy crap.
All I faith, or I prefer to think that things couldn't turn out worse. Put it all down and start again. From the top to the bottom and then. All I faith, or I prefer to think that things couldn't turn out worse. Put it all down and start again. From the top to the bottom and then.
It sounds like people hitting bottles and metal, like pipes. It's just,
Think that things couldn't turn out worse. Put it all down and start again. From the top to the bottom and then.
I said, that's better than I remembered it. I was thinking about the lyrics, and then when the song started, it's like, okay, I do kind of remember the sonics of this one, but again, there were little details that had sort of slipped out of my head, and so even when it started, I wasn't fully aware of the textured sonic masterpiece that awaited. Oh, wait, what? But that's... Hold on. But this is like... This is obviously the lead-in.
Grabbing hands,
Yeah, but this is the same track.
all they can.
This is is still the And Then track, number 9. Alright, according to this tune, we're still according to this album listing, we're still listening to And Then. I think it's pretty clear we're not, but I'm just gonna let it play. But yeah, the last track, which I don't know if it was originally included or if this was added. But this is the original. This is not like a repress. This is from '83. Or a reissue is what I should have said. Well, like I said, that's clearly a tease of what the next track is, which is the long version of Everything Counts. Which I have a vinyl version of this extended mix, and it's actually called Everything Counts, parentheses, in larger amounts. So again, because then, it's funny, that's what it says on the sleeve, and then you take the vinyl out and it says long version. So I'm pretty sure even though they have two different names, it's actually the same extended mix. Regardless, I don't know why that's included in the same cut for And Then, when it's clearly, you know, just a snippet from Everything Counts. Either way, I really do love that song, and then I didn't remember it for its complete sonic mastery when it started, but yeah, it's the music is as good as the lyrics on that one. So like I said, let me know if you have a different interpretation, or if you're aware of like you know, more specific origin or source for the writing of the song. It's '83, so I'm going to assume this is Gore, because by then Vince Clarke had left. I don't think Wilder had joined yet by this point. I don't remember exactly the year he joined. But yeah, so I'm going to assume this is a Martin Gore song, but let me know if you know, my information there is not right. Either way, thank you for listening and watching. I really do appreciate it. Have a good day, have a good night, and I'll see you next time.